Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Myrita from the Myrita Minutes. Tonight we're going to talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now this is episode. This is I don't know. We're up there. I think it's episode 29. Season 6 is called um, Protected Using Protection. This actually should have just been a Tisha Marceau episode. I mean, because throughout the whole episode, they talked about her taking a pregnancy test. I really don't understand what the big deal is. And for Marceau to act like such a pure butt about her taking this pregnancy test. I mean, project much? Now all of a sudden you don't trust Tisha. You know Tisha is not doing anything, and she's always had your back, even when the evidence looked like, I mean, you with somebody else in the bed, allegedly. You're back. Okay, we're going to get into that in a minute. But she never has gone against you. And for you to take that attitude as if, oh no, no, she must be cheating, blah, 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 because she took a pregnancy test. Now, granted, she said she was sick. And the last time she said she was sick, that's what was wrong with her. So wasn't anything wrong with her ruling that out, even though it would have been negative. But what if it wasn't? So if it wasn't, then you really were going to make her take a blood test when vasectomies are not 100%. Now, given the time frame that you've had this vasectomy, chances are slim to none, but nothing is impossible. Again, vasectomies are not 100%. And depending on what procedure you had done, could it have unraveled? Could it have mended itself together again? Things do happen. It's a long shot, but it happens. Anyway, they start off, they're all in Texas, you know. Everyone's gotten there except for Stormy and Courtney. And they're sitting down, you know, the Fletchers call them for dinner. They all sit around the table. And I think as they're sitting down, Stormy and Courtney arrive and they come with their child. Now, should have saw this coming because I feel like they were going to use the child to get away. They really didn't want to come. Well, Stormy basically said she didn't really want to come. The reason why they were so late, she said that they missed their flight. Okay, they missed their flight. But I feel like they were going to use the child as a reason to stay somewhere else anyway, because no one else had their child there. So, and I know you could have found a babysitter for this particular time. Anywho, long story short, you know, they're all sitting around the table, and I got to give it to my girl Melody because she was throwing them digs at people, finally getting them back when they started talking about Maurice and Kimmy's actually Maurice's interview with Carlos and how he came out of his mouth all wrong. And that whole interview went left as soon as, you know, it aired. People were like up in arms about how he was so insensitive to his wife going through her cancer treatment. And the fact that he said, you know, that he was supportive, but the way he felt like she was being supportive to him was because she was rolling over and taking it. Now, I don't care what nobody else says, but there's no other way to understand what he meant by that. He meant that literally. She rolled over and took it. There's no other way to interpret that. And I'm with Mel. Mel said, well, my concern would be is that you really believe what you said. Like, that would be concerning to me. And when she said that, Kimmy looked at her like, eh. But she got her. She got her. She got her. Thank you. Thank you, Mel. That was a good one. Anyway, so, her thing was, he wasn't protecting her, and he wasn't because he didn't feel like it was a need for him to protect her because his thing was, I felt like he really believed what he was saying. And so did Carlos. Carlos was just looking at him like, I remember when that interview went down. Carlos was looking at him like, yeah, okay. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No. That was not a good look, Maurice, at all. So then they started getting into the conversation about Tisha. Well, no, I think they started talking about. No, I think Nell looked down at Martell's hand and wanted to know, was that a wedding ring that he had on his finger? And they said, where you get that wedding ring from, Martell? You think? And then they went into this whole spiel. You think Melly gonna take you back and blah 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 blah. And Marceau shut that down. His thing was, oh wait. We're not putting them together. It's Martell Holt and Melody Rogers because they were getting ready to go in, and you could see the wheel spinning in Tisha and Kimmy's head, and then because even Tisha had to look at Kimmy and saying, he, for the one time he listens, the one time. So yes, the one time he listened, Tisha, and he shut it down because he didn't want that to go any further. And Melanie was like, yes, thank you. So then they start talking about Tisha taking his this pregnancy test or something to the fact, I don't know. I think what brought it up was, I think Stormy might have said something as she was walking out the door, something like that about a kid. Anyway, they started doing all these flashbacks. And anyway, he's having some difficulty thinking about her taking this test. I don't understand why he's making such a big deal about it. As much as Tisha has taken off of him, when the evidence looked like, you know how they say, if it's acts like a duck, quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. I mean, she's had things in her face, circumstantial, but things in her face that would anybody else would have been like, boy, you caught. But she always gave him the benefit of the doubt. And this particular time, because she took a pregnancy test because she was feeling sick, he feels like she has cheated on him. And he has blown this out of proportion. This whole episode should have been about Tisha and Marceau and the pregnancy test. That's what it should have been called. Yeah. I mean, Nell cuts this conversation off. She said, look, y'all guys continue to talk about this craziness, because this is crazy. And then, his thing was, and Tisha comes back again. Vasectomies are not 100%. Well, they aren't within the first year, right? And then I think, because I think it's still some, may some of the sperm may seep out or whatever. It hasn't completely closed off. So it's a possibility after that first, before that first year is out, that you could possibly get pregnant. However, things have happened where vasectomies have rejoined the cells, like the tube has rejoined. I've heard of that before. Unraveled. If they've had it just tied, it's unraveled. Things, it's all kinds of things, but no, they're not 100%. Nothing is 100%. However, the chances are slim to none for her to be pregnant. But if she wanted to take a pregnancy test, I don't really see the big deal. Anyway, Marceau is digging a hole. So then the ladies go off. Nell says, we're not talking about this anymore. You men can continue to talk about it, but we're going this way. And I think the ladies go to the pool. So I think now Kimmy, Kimmy and Tisha are already out there. So Melody comes down and she's got her shades on, and Tisha makes the comment saying she reminds her of Martell wearing the shades. And Melody stopped in her tracks. She was like, these people always got to put our names together. They just cannot not put our names together. Them shades did not remind her of no Martell. Now, I guess he does wear shades, but I mean, why would that remind her of Martell? Anywho, so she gets in the pool and then she starts taking selfies, and Nell and them were looking at her like, she said, this is what I do when I go on vacation. So, whatever. And then she talks about how, being with Martell, even though she's had 4 kids, she's never had an orgasm. What? Okay. Um and she said he wasn't in the foreplay, and she just said it was just that sounded like it was dull. For somebody to always want to be doing something with someone, why is he not into foreplay? Because according to Coleslaw, he'd be doing a whole bunch of stuff to her. I don't know. Anywho, um, then they go into talking about the Maurice interview again. Kimmy is over there talking about he didn't protect her and blah, blah, blah. Tisha's still talking about the fact that Marceau doesn't trust her and she's going to have to step back and take a second look about some other things. Girl, you should have been step back. Okay? You should have been step back because that ninja been playing in your face for a long time, allegedly. The circumstantial evidence. Yeah. So Melanie brought it up at the dinner table, talking about, well, you had the picture with the back or something or whatever, and Marceau never said anything. He never denied it. He never said that wasn't me. He just looked. Now, unless they cut it out, he didn't deny that was not him. Just saying. Anywho, so she just said, I need to step back and, reconsider some things. Good. Better late than never. Better late than never. Let me see what was the next scene. I think after the ladies get out of the pool, Tisha goes in the bedroom with Marceau, and they're still fussing. No. I'm sorry. They skip to the guys. The guys are out playing dominoes. I'm sorry. They're playing dominoes, and again, that is the topic of Tisha taking this test and Marceau getting upset and leaving from the table. I don't understand because I guess he wants people to, chime in and believe what he says. Because Chris even said, well, wasn't anything that he would think. He wouldn't think that right off the bat. I just think he's projecting. I believe that he is projecting. Yes. Yes. He is projecting. Because he's just making too much of an issue of this. So Marceau is walking past their room, and here's the commotion of Tisha and Marceau going back and forth. At the time, I think he knocks on the door, and Tisha said, I'm on my way out. Because her thing is, I'm not even sleeping here with you tonight because you got me effed up. Basically, that's what she said. I'm not even sleeping here with you. Who do you think I am? What makes you why? And I get what Tisha was saying. What do you think? Why do you think that? She said, "What do you think? Who do you think I am?" Like my thing is, like, how do you think what is it that you think about her? Like that would make you think that she would go out here and cheat on you, Marceau? You the one going off to Africa by yourself because you need to clear your mind. You going to Colombia for a bachelor party, at least that's what you said, that's where you were. I ain't never known nobody to take a trip to Colombia for fun. I mean, I'm assuming they got tourism there, but that's not one of the things on my bucket list. Colombia? I'm sure it's got some nice spots. However, I do know what they were known for. And I think I mentioned this before. One of the administrations, I want to say it was the Bush administration now, the George W. Bush, the son. His Secret Service detail, got in trouble over there for dealing with, the women of the night. Anywho, I digress. So Marceau has more situations that would make me go, yeah. Yeah. And Tisha has always had your back, no matter what the info or the evidence looked like. Anyway, so she said, I'm not sleeping here with you. She goes out there and she starts talking to Maurice, and her thing was, I don't understand him. I wasn't even thinking about a vasectomy. I took it because I felt sick, because I was basing it on the symptoms. Because the last time I felt like that, I was pregnant. I wasn't even thinking about a vasectomy. And Maurice said he understood. He understood what she meant by that, but he also wanted her to understand what Marceau was feeling. And her thing was, I got it, but whatever. Girl, go back and revisit all that stuff, because he up there calling you a gaslighter. So what the hell? Mm-mm. So So, I guess the night came, everybody was going to bed except for Martel. Maurice was up looking for snacks and heard some commotion. So he went to go check it out and found that Martel was having company, somebody that he had never seen before. So that rules out coleslaw. So I don't know who he had there. And you could see that it wasn't her. The girl was like seemed like she was a little lighter persuasion. But you just see him walking around the hall or whatever. Because, yeah. So then, yawning, I'm sorry. Tisha and Kimmy are talking about the same stuff. Kimmy's trying to explain to her, well, this is the reason why Marceau feels like this. Any man that knows that they've had a vasectomy is not going to be sitting here thinking that you're pregnant with his baby, especially after so many years that he's had the vasectomy. And then Martel and Marceau are talking about it. And his thing was, you need to apologize to Tisha. He was like, I'm not apologizing. And I'm thinking, you were going too hard on this. Too hard. Nah, he going too hard. So Nell and Chris are setting up something for a team building exercise. And during while she's doing the setup, she tells Chris that Kiki has called and Kiki wants to come and be a part of the group. And Chris is saying, I don't think that's a good idea. And she says, well, she wants to come and apologize. And he was like, well, she can't wait till we get back. I'm with Chris. She can't wait till she get back. Because my whole thing is regardless of what they did to you, you didn't have any legs to stand on or any justification on why you would flick a drink in your cousin's face. And you know your cousin is still sore about it. So why would you come around? She probably wanted to get paid too. Because that's the only reason why Stormy and Courtney showed up, because they had a taping obligation and they needed to be there so they could get their check. So Kiki is, I guess she only gets paid for when she's in the episode. So her thing was, I'm coming too. And Nell said she got soft and told her she could come. Well, I think this goes off into a whole nother thing, because this is whatever went down in the house caused the whole ruckus of what was all in the YouTube streets last week, where Kiki's mom spilled the beans on stuff and Kiki had to kind of try to go and clean it up. I think something to that effect. Anyway, Kiki came out that Kiki didn't tell everything or didn't tell the whole truth. And that was a whole big to-do with one of our fellow content creators going after Mel. And then the millimeters got involved. Her security squad, the millimeters, got involved and got to the point where I guess they were coming at him right and left, to the point where he apologized, I think, to Mel. I want to say. I think it had gotten too heavy for him. The millimeters ain't no joke. So now Melody has a t-shirt that she's selling, talking about the millimeters, they stand on business. I'm standing on business. He should have coined that phrase, because everybody's saying it now. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. Anyway, I digress. So Chris is saying that I don't think that's a good idea and everything. So I think that goes off. I think that's the last segment. And it comes, I think next week I think Kiki's there, and they don't want her staying there. And the last thing I heard Kiki say was, I ain't letting nobody tell me where I can and cannot go. Boom. Yeah, so it's been this episode. How many more we got? This is episode 29. Gee, me ninnies. I'm ready for these episodes. I'm ready for the reunion. Anybody else ready for the reunion? Because I am. Anyway, please like, share, subscribe. Drop your notes in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you think Martell is projecting? I do. Do you think Tisha cheated? I don't. Do you think Maurice believed what he said in the interview? I do. And Kimmy knows he did. I remember, I'm going to say this one little thing and then I'm out of here. I remember Kimmy and Maurice were on, is it TGIF with um, Claudia, Al, and Funky Dineva. And Kimmy's facial expression was like she was beat down. Yet Claudia kept trying to give Maurice chances to apologize. Now, my thing is, if you apologize to her behind the scenes, why didn't you apologize to her on air so the world could see, regardless if you meant it or not? I know you filmed apologizing to her, and then you told her you were going to be um, apologizing to her mom as well, but you didn't do that on TGIF. And Claudia kept coming back, saying, your wife is sitting there and she looks like she's not comfortable. And she didn't. Her thing was she dropped her head and everything as if to say, Ninja, when we get off of this call, and I know she ate him up. I know she did, because he still wasn't trying to come to terms that he had disrespected her. I don't know what to say about the Scott brothers. I don't know what to say. I like Marcel. I think he's funny. Is he a cheater? He acts like one. Don't know. Never seen him out with anybody. And no one's come forward. So either he's paying them real good or they got something to lose too. Most people, when they're trying to cheat, they will cheat with someone that has just as much to lose as they do. So if you have something going on, then anyway, that's it. That's all my notes. This episode I rated, it was kind of a filler episode. I can't wait till they get to the nitty gritty. I'm thinking that Kiki was going to be on this episode. Now I got to wait till next week. So that's going to be episode 30. Anyway, everyone, you all have a nice night, and I will see you next time.